Yo, so I realize we have to address certain situations right now. Last night I saw a video from 94.1 Productions, 2 minute long video on the king of soca talking about certain things that he didn't know certain things. You know why that's hard for me to believe? This is a man who's a perfectionist. Perfectionist does know everything. Usually when you're doing stuff, especially performance wise, an artist that's pushed forward, a rider. So it's interesting. Now came from the bathroom now because I hear shit, so maybe that is what made me go to the bathroom so much times today. So within that being said, you don't know that certain people had a party on Friday night? Yeah. Let me give you some quick history Trinidad and Tobago. Brass is an interesting festival. When a certain soca ambassador fall out with somebody, you know what he did? Make his party on the same night on purpose. You know what happened when a certain soca artist was very upset with somebody in the past, with a Rasta man who ended up migrating because he was getting fired down so much? Right. He told a certain radio station mogul and business owner, don't play that man music ever again. You see, when people lying is a hell of a thing. You see, when you're married into a family and stuff, and then furthermore, all you're doing is focus on winning in any format, you could do some interesting things. Like for instance, when your boss, people hear you talking to certain things, what not there, until men running out of the place. Think a lie now. Furthermore, when you have certain people in Trinity that is good friends with a lot of people who just do audio installation, and a lot of people happen to look for him, you just get some interesting stories also. So you see, when lies start to come out, it just be real interesting. For instance, when certain people, where's this color I wanted? Red Ants, yeah. When Red Ants came out, how come you take a hiatus when other people say it's their tune and you steal it? Other than that also, it have a slim girl who does write real good music. I love her with her passion still. When her father traveled with me years ago, how it is, he had to come and tell me stories about you. Boy, you's a lying piece of shit, boy. You know, I could say that proudly, because there was a certain promoter you fall out with. And unfortunately, he told everybody at the situation, when you're lying so good, I don't know if all the hingy-dingy does really help, but here the scene. I'm not cussing my manager. Yeah. I'm cussing my manager, I'm not cussing my mother. Hold your mother with that shit. So now let me get off that point. So I saw a video, the king of clowns of our country making a video together. All well and good. I happy for you guys. You know what really piqued my interest? One person in that video, a certain small man who real people have a problem with. You are how much years old? You want to do interviews for $10,000 an interview, right? Yeah, all you know what I'm talking about now. Interesting. His idol is one of the biggest snakes in Trinidad and Tobago history. And trust me, rare people give me stories about that snake. When they run up in New York, when they get drunk in Miami, when they betray about 6 people I know. Yeah, that big stinking snake. He literally coined the phrase, "You're snaky." You know what interesting, boy? Real people from that location, people have a problem with. So, just like them little pottongs, just be barking behind yards and thing. I do operate so. So you know when I see in this video now, and all these clowns of Trinidad and Tobago dancing and singing a song that I love with a passion, I have no problem. But here the problem I have. The nation is in a severe economic depression. And the people who poking their fucking heads in the sand is the one that everybody does want to show respect to. You know, it's interesting. A few weeks ago, when you fucking made a video bragging and showing off how you're eating fancy in a restaurant and stuff, and I said, who it is tell you to do that, NCW? How come it is people realize, oh wait now, is this man telling you to do good optics? Oh. I like you, and I respect you. All Toyota is your brand. And Shogunas have real brethren. Also, I grew up around Muslims. So it's how it is. You're seeing what's going on with white glasses. and furthermore the TTPS in plenty parts of Shagonas, but you saying fucking nothing. I find that so interesting, yo. Other than that also, the ice cream shop, is it not located in Palm East? Shit. But you happy-go-lucky dancing, and when people suffering and talking about certain things, you also are super quiet. Now, I'm very proud of you for many things. So you know what's interesting? When you have a radioactive lesbian who likes to put on no piece of clothes at all and get a lot of exposure from it, engagement also. I don't like radioactive sounding mosquitoes, especially ones that look down at guys. Because I distinctly remember for a certain Christmas party and on a radio station, nobody was on you. And then you stay in your lane and you got big because people like to laugh. So henceforth, that's why you're the most popular TikToker in comedic history from Trinidad. Yes, my teeth are very sharp and I aim in at the jugular. So don't worry, man. You all could go and sing and encourage yourselves and laugh. But you know what's interesting? The people who care about well-being of others is those who actually don't have and giving a helping hand. So making one video and your mother telling you, boy, you're doing good and thing. You make one video doing that in all your motherfucking comedic videos and think that is taking a stand. That's so funny to me. So funny to me. Because trust me, it have some motherfuckers like yourself ungrateful to fucking Trinidad. And that's really shocking. Because the people that put all in these positions, all they're helping no one. And when people like myself are talking about issues that are going on in the country, all they're gladly sticking all their head in the fucking sand. I find all these the biggest hypocrites. But guess what? It's a different line and a different side of the coin for me to understand. Because we have one entire amount of people that sell out for $50,000 and a slice of pizza, and then we have a whole other amount of people that is shock value entertainers that don't give a fuck about Trinidad. Tell me a lie, nah? You know what's interesting about that though? Some of these motherfucking hypocrites pretending like they don't know what I'm talking about. But hear this. Plenty of them have police connections and they don't want to bad up their brand. Because anytime you speak the truth, you just lose brand recognition. Tell me a lie now. I saw my last video have 327 views. Really? How the fuck does that happen? Oh, you know how do you manage to get shadow banned? Because the truth does offend someone in a high position. That's very funny to me. So, I asked a question of somebody recently, and one of the most profound forms of respect is listening. So when you ask a question and they're guilty of certain things, do you really expect to get the answer from fucking them? True talk, don't lie. You hear any police siren, right? It's very funny to me. Very, very funny to me. So, I never envy anything that another man has. You do that, woe be unto you. Because trust me, I don't have black Corollas with 5% tint parking in front of anybody's fucking yard. Or they keep on threatening people and think it won't have repercussions. How it is, I'm drawing many points in this video for a reason. How it is situation occurred from since Saturday, and the public will find out about it on Monday afternoon. So it has certain murders, certain suicides that are real questionable, and people want to know certain things. So with that being said, why it is they only suppressing information of criminal activities? Well, you don't find that strange. And then furthermore, just afternoon, just like how certain people realize they want to get stuck in the matrix, it's the same way. They rather you not talk about certain things and make shock value entertainment be pushed forward, but the truth and criminal stuff they want to segregate. Don't put this out. Don't do this. Don't put that out. And you know what, I could gladly say that? You see, one of the jokey men, as in the clowns of Trinidad and Tobago, he works for CNC3. But guess what? Because they are affiliated with a certain political party, they start paying the next one in front of the promenade easily. You know why I could say that? It have certain stories you can't believe reaching the front page and just calling themselves news. So let's get to another point. With that being said, the head of the law division of Trinidad and Tobago, you're standing up for rights of children and women, eh? So how come you're not standing up for when lawyers doing shit in fucking public, embarrassing people, assaulting people, paying off hotel managers for assault and all that shit? It's strange, eh? Other than that also, to me, last time I checked, the PCA is called the Complaints Authority. But whenever the public launches a complaint, what the fuck is really happening? So the murder of Kyle, it actually had footage. He has no weapon. All they corner a young man and then murdered him and drag him out and saying people didn't know what's happening. How come I put footage of that and all in my previous video? And that was the video that was shadow banned. You all messing up on a different level and you're enjoying doing it. But guess what? That's why my biblical name is Jeremiah. So on the pulpit of Moloch, you all could continue doing shit. But unfortunately, when the truth comes out, it does hurt those who don't want to hear it. Hence what? That's why they pay people to say certain things. So simultaneously, look at this. Wow, eh? Wow. True talk, no lying. Like what did I say? Yo, I totally enjoy all the shit happening. But the thing about it, all those who are real snakes are wise, but the dove is the innocent. Many of them not even reading the Bible, so they don't even know what I'm saying as a reference. But it's funny. But they will finish their life sentence. Hold on, I'm coming back. So what's interesting about that is, when Joshua died, it is the most amount of excuses I've ever heard from a police commissioner in my motherfucking life. This is Trinidad and Tobago, but we have no rights. And furthermore, you're adamant and proud to tell the nation that you're not taking the men off of duty, off of active duty, even though it was cold-blooded murder. So how you think Joshua's father is feeling? How do you think Miss Celia is feeling? How you think the child who is innocent in all this is feeling? How do you think the nation is looking on? So far, we have a commissioner of police lying blatantly to the public. We have a minister of national security that the nation is making out for all the horseshit that he's been saying. And people talking about it on different platforms and still nothing is doing. Furthermore, we have a man in jail who have so much respect in Venezuela. It's shocking. And you set him up. But here is scene. He's called Superman, and the shortest man make all them situations happen by himself, and but when you see goal, your weakness does show. So come have a conversation with a real gangster who don't need to wear a ring on his hand and people backing him up now. Let we see what will happen to you. Go into certain parts of Santa Cruz with the horseshit that you've done to fucking people and try and understand and explain why you take this son home because you wanted more drug blocks. So furthermore, this thing what's going on in Tunapuna right now, it's real interesting, you know. It's real interesting. So it have a phrase that I want you of all people to understand. And you know what that phrase is? Just like our fighting in the shadow of our phone. What are you doing? And you hear that song in the background. I hope you find someone else. Because the type of injustice you're doing people, it's ridiculous. But don't worry, man. The longest rope has an end. And just like what they say in Grenada, pressure does bust what? So the men who stick in their fucking heads in the stand, let me get back to that shit. I remember distinctly before it had a party called Pink and Yucky. It used to have a party called Chinatown. Why it is, when a man signed a contract with Answer McCall, everything started to go haywire. We start to see all kind of people passing out and stuff on the ground. People want to know how come this happening and stuff of that nature. Furthermore, how it is, you literally told her as a soca artist, Last year was your own, so this year you had to sit down. And this year is the year of the Batman. Tell me that a lie now. Why it is always scrub the footage of a certain Batman minister jumping on the police commissioner shop? You hear how stupid the word come out, ain't? Right. Imagine that a Batman minister jumping on the police commissioner and somehow thinks this is funny. So the idiots who are trying to maintain that this is normal, what's going on? Do you ever see a CEO? Do you ever see a COO? Do you ever see a chairman? Do you see board members getting on like assholes in front of their staff and then expect to get respect when the next meeting comes around? Think about that question well. Furthermore, when you're actually seeing the bias and the bias happening right in front of you in 4D, is it fun when denial's not working on anybody? Is it fun to see fucking people from your nation in dire poverty and idiots who not affected laughing at people and being racist, blatant bigots? Asking for a friend, actually 1.3 million. Then furthermore, what is going on in White Land? Why it is Douglas have to highlight that all they bring in Venezuelans to push out all the Africans are talking the things because they are white to hurt all the motherfuckers. All is so disgusting. You all are not Trinbaygonians. You are just opportunists in uniform. And let's get back to the point now. You send so much people home. Your mother is a Baptist minister, or is she a Obia woman? Asking for a friend. Furthermore, people realize, but wait now, how come some days your face bumpy on the left side, then it just go down a little bit, then it just come back up? Furthermore, when you're not taking off your ring. And furthermore, why is this man with the white glasses bring out a video seeming like he gloating about knowing you and showing off and making you laugh in uniform and thing when he was an officer? You remember them days? Furthermore, how come the video circulating about the boy from Santa Cruz when he's talking the things? I have it and a lot of people have it also. Which party say he is the biggest criminal in Trinidad history? All you fucking okay with this Trinidad and Tobago? Tell me, you know. It is just like certain things were going on in licensing office, what's going to be highlighted shortly. Because emails don't lie, but Mr. Payne does. Ooh. And last but not least, to the shock value entertainers. When you go into KFC and you take people footage, look at the color I have on. It's red. And it's very easy to recognize me. So when you take footage of somebody and make a KFC ad, and when they message you and you pretend to ignore them, it's going to hurt you dearly. Notice I didn't say your name, because I know you personally, and I know your mother. And remember, me and your sister had an argument a few years ago. I don't like it Gills, and Bishops is a hell of a school. Convent over convent. I'm nobody's fool. And furthermore, when you're making B-mobile ads, remember, it's only certain complexions that need to be put in them. It's true. So I remember a lot of things. So it's going to very well hurt you. But continue singing with other entertainers, the clowns of Trinidad and Tobago, and sings I Didn't Forget You. Okay? Diego Martin, to the guy with the cube, is who I'm referring to. Yes. Now, let's get to our final point. The young lady with the cupcakes, who's very much fake, who has a brain smaller than any microscopic membrane. Let me help you, darling. When you're making certain topics, a topic on national radio, just remember when you're a puppet, there's certain videos that people don't want in the public. And if you think you don't know what I'm talking about, yeah, don't let me push some people to making it happen. But do remember, I like cupcakes and fun packs are interesting. But just like these dogs barking, it have many people from your media house cannot even mention my name because they'll be more than shame. Also, last but not motherfucking least, when you are investigative journalists, how come you just stop investigating when certain people say things? How you just feel about that? Do you need help? Or does the Bible show cherubim or angels as in humans wearing wings? All these stink motherfucking demons. And trust me, Lupino is right there, you know. I could say a couple things well, but let's leave it like that. Because trust me, I'm a Manchester fan, and I know many stories very well. Shameful. It's 2026, the year of the fire horse, and trust me, look at how much information was in this video. Anyway, as usual, Trinidad and Tobago, observe everything from three sides, because we have evil and right in this country is which why they hope to always reside. As usual, I love you guys. See you on the flip side.